Okay, this part of the test is going to include the coupling system for Florida CDL inspection. First, what we're going to look at is our airline connectors over here, going to be connected to the back of the tractor, as you can see. All right, we want to make sure that the fittings are properly mounted and secure. There are no cracks, there are no leaks. Next, we're going to look at the airlines. We can see there are red and blue. Red is for emergency, blue is for service. There are no cuts, abrasions, bulges, leaks. And when we look at it, there is adequate clearance from the airlines to the frame. Important to note. Airline glad hands, when we follow those over, those are going to be on the tractor side, or the trailer side, I'm sorry. So when we're looking at, these are your glad hands over here connected to the airlines, as you can kind of see. So we want to make sure on the front of the trailer, these airline glad hands are properly mounted and secured. The rubber seal, the grommet in between the middle of that, it's not dry rotted, it's not missing, it doesn't have any kind of leaks. And we're going to look at the electrical line connector. That is going to be on the back of the tractor. So your electrical line connector over here, it is securely mounted, it's not cracked, and it's not loose. And then we're going to look from that electrical line connector to the actual green, the electrical line. Again, that electrical line needs to have proper clearance between the line and the frame, so we want to make sure that's there. We also want to make sure that there are no loose connections, there's no cuts, and there's no abrasions to the line. When we follow that electrical line, we're going to follow it all the way to the trailer, where we're going to see something called the electrical line pigtail right here. We want to make sure that is securely mounted, okay? We want to make sure it's not broken. We want to make sure it is plugged in tight, and the clip is hooked underneath it. After that, we go down to the actual coupling system itself. So first, what we're going to be talking about is the apron. So the apron is going to be right over here, okay? We want to make sure that apron now properly mounted to the trailer, not bent, not cracked, there's no holes, and it's adequately greased. Next, we're going to go to the skid plate. We want to make sure the skid plate, which is directly underneath it right here, properly mounted and secured with a pivot pin and a cotter key. So your pivot pin and your cotter key. Here is your pivot pin right here, and your cotter key. That little thing right there is your cotter key. All right. So your pivot pin and cotter key adequately greased. We're going to inspect the gap underneath. Make sure there's no gap between the apron up here and the skid plate right here. No gap in between there. Okay, and then we're going to look at the release handle, properly mounted and secured. This is your release handle right here. Make sure it's properly mounted and secured, not bent, it's in the locked position. Then we're going to go down to the platform. Platform goes from here, so this is the platform right here. Release handle, platform. Properly mounted to the frame, as you can see. The mounting bolts over there, they're all present. They're not cracked. And those mounting bolts are secure to the frame. Then, if we go to the back of the trailer, underneath it, I guess you could say, we're going to notice the three things are the kingpin, the locking jaws, and the brakes. So, as we crawl up under here, your kingpin is going to be inside there. Make sure it's properly mounted and secure. It's not bent and it's not twisted. After that, you're going to look at the locking jaws. Make sure they're not bent and they're properly locked around the kingpin. And then you're going to move over to the tail lights, the brake lights. Make sure they're not cracked, they're not broken, and they are proper in color, which would be red for this. And that concludes our coupling system.